Hi, I'm John Atack,
I'm Sam Jack.
and today we're going to talk about racial purity. Great many catastrophes have occurred since the introduction of eugenics by Francis Galton, a cousin of Darwin's in the 19th century, and there's been a great deal of misunderstanding, we feel, as this applies. So at the moment in the United States, we have groups calling themselves white nationalists,
White supremacists.
white supremacists, and of course there are other racial groups that believe themselves to be pure and this sort of thing. A few weeks ago, an announcement was made that a grave had been found that contained people who, by their DNA, were not Vikings, but they were in Viking regalia. They were buried as, senior Vikings. And they were actually Sami people who for many years have been called Laplanders and live in the place that Santa Claus comes from or something like that. They herd reindeer. Now.
Oh.
And the white supremacists in the United States have moved the purity of their bloodline now. They don't think they're Germans anymore, because there are a few problems with that in the past. But they now tend to pretend that they are pure blood Vikings. I'd just like to say that that's absolute nonsense. That the Vikings were totally multicultural and accepted, in their move across Europe all the way to Kiev. That they had quite an empire going there, and then a secondary empire, of course, as Normans, people who took over England and Sicily for some reason. But Northmen, they were Vikings who had settled in France. And Rollo the Ganger, who was, tell by his name, that he was obviously a bit of a weirdo, and you wouldn't want to be descended from him, frankly. The point is that these Vikings intermarried wherever they went, and so the idea of some racial purity is a silly idea, and you should go and have your DNA testing done to find out just
that you're 4% Neanderthal.
Yeah, just how much percent Denisovan or Neanderthal you are. I don't think you can generally, but you can find out if you're a little bit Portuguese or something like that. And there's a second point, isn't there? Because I've been holding the floor here, and Sam would like to say something about how sensible it is to be racially pure. So there's a valley, do you know about this, in Switzerland called the Cretin Valley.
Oh.
Ever heard of that? And from this we have the word cretin, which means a deformed idiot.
Like me?
Not like you. Which is somebody who has an IQ of less than 54, if one believes in IQ testing. I don't. And has physical deformities. And the Cretin Valley the name comes from there because people had interbred there for many centuries. And I'd just like to point out that is racial purity. And so what would Darwin have thought about all of this nonsense that's been perpetrated in this name?
It's often misunderstood as survival of the fittest.
But, which was Herbert Spencer, not Darwin,
Spencer,
but Darwin did repeat
he did
the
later accept it. But biodiversity is important in maintaining a population. You want as much of it as possible. You don't want the variation to be eliminated, so you only have people of one colour or various characteristics. You want as much diversity as possible to maintain that population in case a stress comes onto it. So you want to actually interbreed with, you don't want to kill people who don't look like you. You want to marry them.
Yes, and we are saying marry here. We're not talking about doing anything, unlike that. There is actually an example in nature, and do you know this one? The banana?
There's only one of them.
There's only one type of banana. It's called the Cavendish banana. And the problem is if a disease comes and attacks that, then that's the end of bananas, basically. When the phylloxera hit grapevines through the 19th century, it wiped out all of the grapevines of Europe, pretty much. And they had to be replanted, grafted onto stocks from Zinfandel, or Primitivo, I think it's called, when you find it in Italy. This was the only rootstock that was resistant. If if it hadn't been for that, there wouldn't be any wine anymore. There wouldn't be any grapes. So we are recommending that if you are a supremacist, black, yellow, white, green, blue, orange, or any other colour of supremacist, you're wrong and you're mistaken. And building an authoritarian cult around the idea of racial purity will lead you to be more cretinous.
You'll end up looking like a bulldog.
Yeah. So your face all pushed in and stuff.
And you won't be able to escape.
And that'll teach you a lesson, hopefully. So racial harmony, let's be nice to one another and let's not be so stupid, because there are genes in diverse populations that are helpful to us all. And it's good to get those genes moving around. So I have been John Atack.
I have been Sam Atack.
And we will hope that we will continue to be these people.
I feel like somebody else now, actually.
Yeah, that's funny, isn't it? It's not Steve again, is it?
No,
that was me, wasn't it?
Yeah. John?
John. No, I think I was John when we started.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, this has been an Opening Minds presentation. And thank you for sharing your time with us. And we hope to see you immensely soon. Thank you so much.